This is Julius Karnwie of Karnwie Books, the company that wants you to read. This is part 2A of the series on the different stages to reading. In part 1, I talked about the introductory stage to reading, which I called the visual foreplay stage. I also talked about the 3 stages of the visual foreplay stage, which I called the browsing, grabbing, and picking out stages. Let me point out that this series on the different stages to reading is my own invention. Thank goodness for such great ideas to be shared. I am sharing these ideas with you free of charge because I am interested in your literary success and in helping you succeed at the art of reading. Our slogan, Karnwie Books, the company that wants you to read, embodies the heart and soul of our philosophy that all of mankind can and must learn to read in order to cope with the high literacy and intellectual demands of this age of Aquarius, which is dawning fast upon the human race in order to survive. There is soon coming a time when most of what are now jobs, livelihoods, careers will be taken over by machines and robots, and only the master readers and literates will survive because they will use these noble skills to become entrepreneurs, inventors, and to maintain some subsistent form of livelihood. This is a reality that will become prevalent sooner than we might realize, and this is why Karnwie Books is interested in your literary success. So today, I will be talking about the next stage of the art of reading, which is the stormy stage. The stormy stage of reading does not have to be structured or entail the exertion of keen mental effort. As its name implies, this stage of reading is like going through a storm. There is no time for retention, absorption, or mastery of the material to be read. This stage is meant to prepare the mind for the mastery that is to come. It is a way of setting the stage for a great learning experience. Here, the reader is not interested in retaining all at once the essence of the material that he is reading. Compelling oneself to absorb the essence of reading material at the first stroke can be difficult, time-consuming, and counterproductive in the long run. This could be possible only if one has attained great strength and mastery of the art of reading, that one could absorb the essence of reading material effortlessly. Even so, one will have to read the material again and again to commit it solidly to memory. I would recommend reading the first 2 to 3 chapters of the material over and over again throughout this stage. The primary aim, again, is not to absorb, retain, or master the material, but rather to allow the mind to picture and capture at its own pace the contents of the material. This makes reading a lot easier because then the mind can incorporate the images of words, numbers, punctuations, etc. subconsciously. After reading the material over and over again 5 times, give yourself a break. Put the material aside for at least 6 hours and enjoy a break with friends, family, or even movies, then return to the material. This time, read it 3 times, 2 times, then 1 time. Remember, we are reading the same portion of the material over and over again throughout this stage. During this stage, write down every new word you come across in a notebook to study its definition later. And this brings us to the end of part 2A of the series on the different stages to reading. And I am Julius Karnwie of Karnwie Books, the company that wants you to read. Cheers!